Chosen one, stop scrolling right now. Not later, not after another video. Watch this entirely alone. Take one deep breath slowly and let the heavy noise leave your mind for a moment. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here today. The Holy Spirit orchestrated this exact intersection in time because heaven has a very urgent message for you. Do not click away. A final decision was just made about your case. I need you to fully understand what this means. While you were sleeping, a spiritual trial took place in the unseen realm. They call it the Midnight Court. And the verdict that was just handed down will completely shift the trajectory of your entire bloodline. What I am about to tell you is something the system desperately wants to hide. You feel that sudden shift in the atmosphere, do you not? You have been so deeply tired lately. Your physical body is resting, but your spirit feels entirely depleted. You wake up exhausted before the day even begins. And nobody around you seems to understand the heavy weight you carry. While you pretend everything is fine, you smile through the pain and keep walking. You constantly show up for people who never show up for you. Look at your inner circle right now. The people you trusted suddenly pulled away without warning. The rooms you used to walk into now feel incredibly strange and unwelcoming. You thought you did something wrong. You spent hours replaying conversations in your head, wondering why you always end up the outcast. But listen carefully to me, that isolation is not a punishment at all. It is a divine quarantine to protect your frequency. You are not losing your mind. The intense anxiety and the tears you shed in your car when nobody is looking are very real, but they are not signs of weakness. You are absorbing the spiritual warfare directed at your family. You are the intercessor. You have been fighting massive battles in the spiritual realm while your physical body sleeps. That is exactly why your energy is completely drained. Heaven has been watching you take hit after hit. The universe saw every single time you chose kindness when they offered you cruelty. The spiritual realm recorded every time you kept your mouth shut to protect someone who was actively trying to destroy your name. You thought nobody saw it. You thought your silent sacrifices were completely invisible, but they were powerful evidence. Every tear you cried in secret was carefully gathered. Every moment of unfair treatment was documented. That is exactly why the Midnight Court convened on your behalf. The enemy thought they could continue to drain your frequency without any consequences. They misunderstood your beautiful silence for surrender. They believed their manipulation would trap you in survival mode forever. They were incredibly wrong. Lock your attention on this message right now. Do not let your mind wander for even a single second. The extreme exhaustion you feel is the final symptom of a spiritual war that is already over. You are standing at the absolute edge of a massive breakthrough. The heavy chains of generational trauma are finally fracturing. The spiritual attackers who masqueraded as your friends are panicking. You have been asking God why the pressure is so heavy right now. You asked why the doors slammed shut in your face when you prayed so hard for them to open. I need you to hear this divine truth. The delay was never a denial. The delay was exactness. Entering those doors too early would have crushed your spirit. God was keeping them closed to protect the massive blessing meant for you. Take another deep breath right now. Drop your shoulders and relax your jaw. You have felt a strange tingling in your hands or a heavy pressure behind your eyes recently. These are not medical issues to fear. They are physical manifestations of a profound spiritual upgrade. Your vessel is being expanded to hold the immense authority coming your way. The Matrix wants you to believe you are simply broken. The elite system thrives on your constant exhaustion. They know that a fully awakened chosen one is the most dangerous force on this earth. If you realize the immense power stored inside your DNA, their dark control over your life collapses instantly. That is exactly why they sent endless distractions. That is why they surrounded you with people who demand your energy but offer absolutely nothing. But heaven just issued an unbreakable decree. The heavy gavel finally fell in the midnight court. The long season of you being a footstool for their fragile ego is permanently over. The universe is flipping the script on every person and every dark entity that tried to keep you at the bottom. You do not have to fight back at all. Your glorious vindication is being handled right now. Before I reveal the exact details of this heavenly verdict, you must understand the trap they set for you. If you do not recognize the hidden spiritual snare that has been draining your finances and your peace, you will mishandle the coming restoration. The enemy is desperate to keep you blind to this specific trap. They want you focused entirely on your temporary pain. Do not fall for it. You have asked why heaven went completely silent recently. You prayed in the dark until your voice broke. The silence around you felt incredibly heavy. And while you were crying on the floor, you truly started to believe that you were entirely abandoned in your darkest hour. But heaven was never ignoring your cries for help. The silence was a brilliant spiritual strategy. Think about what happens inside a real courtroom. When a righteous judge is gathering crucial evidence, the room is quiet. God was never ignoring your immense pain and suffering. He was building an undeniable case against every dark entity that tried to destroy you. The universe needed your enemies to fully expose their intentions, because their actions had to be brought into the light. Your beautiful silence allowed their dark actions to speak loudly. The enemy desperately wanted you to feel rejected. They designed unfair situations to make you look like the problem. You constantly took the blame just to keep the peace. And while you were slowly breaking down inside from the pressure, they were secretly celebrating your emotional collapse with all of their toxic friends. But their sick celebration in the dark was dangerously premature. Heaven was recording every single lie they whispered. Remember the people who walked away when you needed them. Their sudden departure completely shattered your heart into pieces. You begged the universe to bring them back to you. But God intentionally removed those people from your daily life because they were secretly acting as hidden witnesses for the prosecution. They were never assigned to your bright future. They were sent by the Matrix to monitor your frequency. You also faced bizarre financial blockages in recent months. Great opportunities dried up entirely out of nowhere. You worked harder and longer than anyone else in the room. But the financial rewards kept slipping right through your tired fingers, while other people who did absolutely nothing seemed to succeed effortlessly. This was not a permanent curse on your finances. The elite system was trying to starve you into submission, but heaven aggressively blocked those lesser opportunities to protect your spiritual purity. If you had succeeded in that highly toxic environment, you would have been trapped in their low-vibration matrix forever. God closed the small doors to save your life. He was preserving your raw energy for the mega deposit that is currently being released. Your apparent failure was actually a profound divine rescue mission. Now, let us return to the events of the Midnight Court. The dark prosecutor presented all your past mistakes to the heavenly judge. They aggressively highlighted your private moments of doubt and anger. They demanded that your heavy generational curses remain fully active because they believed you were too weak to break them. They argued that you were entirely too broken to carry the sacred mantle, but they forgot one crucial detail. Your beautiful heart remained completely pure through the devastating fire. You never sought petty revenge against those who intentionally hurt you. You simply withdrew your precious energy and healed in absolute silence. And that quiet endurance became your ultimate defense in the spiritual realm, proving to the entire universe that your soul could not be corrupted. Your refusal to become bitter destroyed their legal standing. The judge slammed the heavy gavel down. That extreme exhaustion you feel right now is the aftermath of the trial. The ultimate verdict of absolute victory has been spoken. You are no longer carrying the toxic debts of your bloodline, because the Midnight Court has officially cleared your name forever. The spiritual chains that bound your ancestors are falling off your tired shoulders. The sudden lightness you will soon feel is the absolute proof of this heavenly decree. You are a magnificent masterpiece of the divine creator. You are the cycle breaker that your entire lineage has been desperately waiting for. The Matrix tried to convince you that you were the difficult black sheep. They quickly labeled you as unstable and overly sensitive because you completely refused to accept their highly toxic and abusive version of normalcy. But your rebellious spirit was actually profound spiritual discernment. The power dynamic has officially changed in your favor. The very people who mocked your painful struggle are now watching you rise. They cannot understand how you survived their calculated and vicious attacks. They fully expected you to completely break down under the pressure, and they thought you would eventually surrender your bright light to their dark agenda. But you are stepping out of the ashes with a quiet authority. Massive confusion is currently hitting their camp extremely hard. The dark energy they maliciously sent toward you has hit an unbreakable spiritual wall. And the universal law of karma is currently working behind the scenes, aggressively returning that exact same negative energy directly back to the original senders. You do not need to lift a single finger to defend your honor anymore. The Midnight Court finalized their exact punishment. But there is something critical you must realize before this shift fully manifests. The enemy knows their time of control is officially over. They are deeply terrified of the massive authority you are about to inherit. And because they are panicking like trapped animals, they are going to attempt one final trick to steal your peace. They want to drag you back into the heavy dirt with them. You must recognize this specific illusion. The system has always known exactly who you are. Long before you understood your own spiritual significance, the Dark Matrix recognized your brilliant frequency. They saw your pure light shining brightly in the spiritual realm. And because they operate entirely in darkness, your immense spiritual power was a massive threat to their control. That is why they strategically placed specific people in your life. These were not random toxic individuals who simply made mistakes. They were assigned energy vampires sent to keep your vibration dangerously low. They came disguised as broken friends who needed your help, and they played the victim perfectly, so you would drain yourself trying to heal their endless chaos. The Matrix feeds entirely on your emotional reactions. When you get angry and try to defend yourself against their wild accusations, you are giving them exactly what they want. They want you exhausted. They need you to remain completely stuck in survival mode. Because a chosen one who is constantly fighting for survival cannot focus on building the immense spiritual empire that heaven destined them to rule. This brings us directly to those closed doors you cried about. You knocked and prayed for opportunities that suddenly disappeared without any logical explanation. You felt entirely rejected by the universe, but heaven saw the hidden traps behind those beautiful doors. God forcefully slammed those doors shut, because entering that specific environment would have placed your pure spirit directly inside their toxic feeding ground. Your isolation was a highly calculated move by the divine creator. Heaven had to pull you away from the noise to completely sever those dark, energetic cords. The system wanted you to feel lonely and abandoned. They tried to break your mind with extreme isolation, but the Holy Spirit used that exact same isolation to purify your frequency, and this quiet period successfully upgraded your soul for the coming shift. You have always been the discerning warrior of your bloodline. You could always step into a crowded room and instantly feel the hidden tension. You saw straight through the fake smiles that everyone else accepted, and your pure presence alone made the hidden Matrix agents feel incredibly uncomfortable. Your bright light naturally exposed their deep darkness. That is exactly why they launched a silent smear campaign against you. They whispered terrible things about your character behind your back. They tried to turn other people against you, to destroy your spiritual influence. They needed you to look unstable, so nobody would ever believe the profound truths you carry, but their pathetic plan has officially failed today. The system relies entirely on your continued cooperation to maintain its power. They need you to care about their opinions. They need you to constantly seek their hollow validation. But something incredible happened inside you over the last few weeks, and you finally stopped seeking the approval of a broken system. You stopped explaining yourself to those who misunderstand your spirit. You withdrew your energy and starved the vampires. You finally put up strong boundaries that they could no longer cross. And the moment you stopped reacting to their endless drama, their entire dark structure began to collapse entirely under its own weight. You are no longer serving as a free battery for their toxic matrix. You took your massive power back without saying a single word. Now they are standing in the shadows, with absolute terror in their eyes. They realize they cannot manipulate you anymore. The spiritual shield around your life has hardened into solid steel. Every dark arrow they shoot at you simply bounces off your shield, and that heavy karma returns directly to the exact person who sent it. The universal scales of justice are rebalancing right now. You might be wondering how you can confirm this massive shift. You need absolute proof that the enemy is losing their grip on your reality. Heaven never leaves a chosen one walking blindly in the dark. There are very specific physical signs happening around you right now that prove their dark kingdom is finally falling to the ground. You must recognize these exact signs. The Midnight Court did not just clear your name. They authorized a complete spiritual severing of every hidden cord attached to your soul. The Matrix tried to bind you through soul ties and false obligations. They made you feel entirely responsible for saving broken people who completely refuse to save themselves from their own destructive habits. But that heavy burden has been legally lifted off your shoulders. The agents of the system are currently trying to monitor your progress. They stalk your quiet life from a safe distance. They are desperately looking for any sign that you are still bleeding from their attacks. They want the dark satisfaction of seeing you broken, but heaven has hidden your true frequency behind an impenetrable wall of holy fire, and your enemies cannot witness your glorious restoration. This is the exact moment the tables turn completely. You are stepping into a profound season of untouchable power. The Matrix is glitching because your rising vibration is destroying their carefully laid plans. Keep your precious energy completely sealed and beautifully protected while the Divine Creator finishes this incredible work on your behalf. I am about to reveal the clear signs that your vindication is actively manifesting. The spiritual realm does not operate in total silence forever. When a divine verdict is handed down, your physical body feels the shockwave. Heaven is actively executing the judgment on your behalf right now. And your earthly vessel is adjusting to this massive shift because the energy is so intense. There are very specific signs proving that your enemies are falling. You must recognize these symptoms immediately. The first undeniable sign happens in the middle of the night. You have been waking up exactly between 3 and 4 in the morning. Your eyes snap open and your heart is beating incredibly fast. But you do not feel any natural fear in the quiet room. This specific time is the spiritual watch hour for the chosen ones. The Midnight Court is directly downloading the final decree into your spirit. You thought this was just terrible insomnia caused by your anxiety. You assumed your mind was simply broken by the endless worldly stress. But your soul was actually being summoned to witness the divine execution. While the rest of the world is heavily asleep, heaven is speaking to you. Your spiritual shield is actively absorbing the brand new frequency. Do not try to force yourself back to sleep anymore. The second sign involves a strange physical sensation in your head. You hear a sudden ringing or feel a heavy pressure in your ears. The Matrix wants you to panic and seek medical answers for this. But this is the exact frequency of your spiritual upgrade manifesting physically. The heavy static noise of the elite system is being permanently tuned out. Your discernment is finally sharpening. The enemy used dark frequencies to keep you totally confused and lost. They sent heavy brain fog to make you doubt your own brilliant mind. But the Supreme Judge has ordered the removal of their dark interference. That pressure you feel is the old toxic energy leaving your sacred vessel. You are finally breaking free from their artificial mental prison forever. Your absolute clarity is returning. The third sign is a sudden repulsion to things you used to tolerate. You try to watch your normal shows or listen to popular music, but suddenly it makes you feel incredibly sick or deeply exhausted inside. You cannot even sit in the same room with certain people anymore. Their normal conversation feels like heavy gravel grinding against your pure soul. Your frequency has permanently elevated. You are no longer a vibrational match for their broken world. The Midnight Court upgraded your powerful spirit to a royal status, and royalty cannot comfortably consume the toxic garbage of the Matrix system. Your physical body is literally rejecting the poison they tried to feed you. This extreme sensitivity is actually your newly forged spiritual armor. It will protect your coming wealth. The fourth sign is the most shocking and beautiful of them all. You suddenly noticed a strange quietness in your mind this past week. The loud anxiety that used to follow you everywhere just vanished completely. You expected to feel panicked about your difficult situation, but you felt nothing. The enemy tried to send their usual fear, but it could not reach you. The spiritual war ended. That incredible peace is not an accident or a random coincidence. It is the direct result of the heavy chains being broken in the unseen realm. The dark entities that tormented your bloodline have been forcefully evicted. They lost their legal right to attack your mind when the verdict fell. You are finally experiencing the pure tranquility of a chosen one. Your mind is now a fortress. Take one slow breath right now and claim this absolute peace. Type 777 in the comments to anchor this truth into reality. The universe wants you to acknowledge the profound changes happening in your body. Because when you validate the divine shift, it accelerates the physical manifestation. But there are even deeper signs that prove your enemies are terrified. The fifth sign happens while you are resting in very deep sleep. You have been having incredibly vivid and intense dreams lately. You might dream of running water or fighting unknown people in strange houses. These are not random images created by a tired and stressed brain. Heaven is showing you the exact spiritual battles that were just won. Your soul is watching the enemy retreat in real time. In these prophetic dreams, you often find yourself escaping a heavy trap, or you receive shiny keys and open doors to entirely new rooms. This is the Holy Spirit giving you the exact blueprint for your next season. The court has granted you full access to the hidden wealth of your ancestors. You are receiving the divine download of your new massive inheritance. Your spirit is fully awake. Do not ignore the physical weight of these powerful spiritual signs. Your body is the sacred temple where this heavenly decree is being enforced. Every headache and every sleepless night was part of the divine transition. You survived the intense spiritual surgery without losing your pure heart. The difficult phase of physical purging is almost completely over right now. You are ready for the next revelation. We must now look at the external signs of your massive victory. While your body is healing, the dark matrix is completely falling apart. The people who plotted against you in secret are experiencing massive chaos. The exact traps they built for you are snapping shut on their own hands. I need you to understand how the enemy is currently exposing their own defeat. The physical signs were just the beginning of your vindication. Now you must look closely at the sudden chaos breaking out around you. The people who secretly plotted against you are completely panicking. They thought they had successfully buried your bright light forever, but they completely forgot that a masterpiece of God is a seed that always grows back. Your massive rising is their worst nightmare. The dark energy they intentionally sent to destroy you has hit an invisible wall. Your spiritual shield is now fully activated and incredibly strong. And because that toxic energy cannot penetrate your pure soul anymore, it is aggressively bouncing back to the original sender. They are suddenly experiencing the exact same heavy struggles they wished upon your life. The universal law of karma is balancing the scales perfectly. Look at how they are acting right now. They are making irrational decisions and turning against each other in total confusion. The elite system that supported them is suddenly glitching. They cannot understand why their dark manipulation tactics no longer work on your mind. You stopped reacting to their petty drama entirely, and your beautiful silence is completely destroying their false sense of power. They desperately need your highly emotional reactions to survive. When you cried and defended yourself, you fed their dark matrix with your raw energy, but you completely starved them when you walked away without saying a single word. They are running out of spiritual fuel incredibly fast. The spiritual vampires are starving because the Midnight Court cut off their access to your precious life force. That is exactly why they try to quietly monitor your life now. They watch your progress from a safe distance like terrified animals. They use fake accounts or send hidden spies just to see if you are still broken. They want to find any small proof that you are struggling without their toxic presence. But heaven has hidden your glorious restoration behind an impenetrable wall of holy fire. The system itself is terrified of your new vibration. The sleepers around you are becoming incredibly uncomfortable in your pure presence. They feel the heavy judgment radiating from your quiet spirit. You do not even have to speak to expose their deep insecurities. Your elevated frequency acts as a giant mirror that forces them to look at their own dark flaws. They absolutely hate the reflection. You must stop feeling sorry for the people who maliciously tried to drown you. Your incredible empathy is a divine gift, but you cannot use it to heal your spiritual attackers. The heavy burden of their karma belongs entirely to them. The heavenly judge has ordered you to drop their bags immediately. You are a cycle breaker. You are not a spiritual garbage dump for the toxic matrix. You feel that massive surge of power rising in your chest right now. That is the divine authority you were always destined to carry. The extreme exhaustion is finally fading away. The heavy chains of survival mode are shattering into 1,000,000 tiny pieces. You are standing up taller, and your spiritual vision is becoming crystal clear. The enemy can see the glowing crown returning to your head. The elite system knows their time of complete control is officially ending. A chosen one, who knows their exact worth, is extremely dangerous to their dark agenda. They can no longer trap you in a cycle of endless poverty and emotional exhaustion. The massive wealth transfer that they tried to block is aggressively forcing its way into your reality. Their desperate delays have absolutely failed. They are watching their entire dark empire crumble into dust. The smear campaigns they launched against you have officially collapsed. The lies they told about your character are being shouted from the rooftops. Everyone is finally seeing the absolute truth about who they really are. Your powerful vindication is no longer a distant promise. It is unfolding violently right in front of their terrified eyes. The group that came against you is currently completely divided. The fake loyalty they showed each other is rapidly dissolving into bitter hatred. They are actively betraying the very people they conspired with. Heaven is causing massive division in the camp of your enemies, so they cannot organize another attack. Their own wicked plots have become their permanent spiritual prison. You are watching divine justice in motion. You are no longer the same broken person who begged for their approval. You have evolved into a formidable spiritual warrior who commands the atmosphere. The heavy tears you cried have watered the massive seeds of your coming harvest. The dark matrix is glitching terribly because they cannot calculate your next move. Your pure unpredictability makes you completely untouchable. The final shift is ready to manifest. You are standing on the absolute edge of a massive spiritual threshold. The old season of endless pain is rapidly closing behind you, but the new door of profound abundance has not completely opened yet. You feel incredibly strange right now. You are floating in a divine space between your painful past and your glorious future. This is the exact definition of a profound spiritual season shift. Your mind might feel a little bit disoriented today. You are shedding the heavy skin of survival mode. The Matrix trained you to constantly anticipate the next massive disaster. You expect people to betray you because that is what your history taught you. But heaven is aggressively rewiring your nervous system to accept absolute peace. You must stop preparing for battles that are already over. The Midnight Court has finished its careful deliberation. The massive files containing all your past traumas have been permanently sealed. But before the heavenly judge hands you the supreme decree of vindication, there is a test. Heaven must ensure you are truly ready to carry this incredible weight, because holding massive divine authority requires a completely purified vessel. You cannot bring old luggage into the new kingdom. This brings us to a very crucial warning. There is one strict rule you must follow to receive this massive blessing. The enemy knows they have lost the long war against your soul, but they want you to accidentally sabotage your own miracle right before it arrives. If you do not follow this exact spiritual instruction, you will delay the massive harvest. Listen very carefully to me right now. You must absolutely refuse to look back at the people who broke you. The system will try to send them back into your life this week. They will suddenly text you or try to offer a completely fake apology. They want to see if your energetic door is still slightly open. Do not answer their desperate calls. Your absolute silence is the strict requirement for your final elevation. If you engage with their toxic drama again, you instantly lower your frequency. You will literally step out of the heavenly courtroom to argue with peasants. You are a masterpiece of God. A true chosen one does not negotiate with the dark matrix that tried to bury them alive. Let the dead bury the dead. You must keep your eyes entirely locked on the bright horizon in front of you. You are feeling a sudden urge to clean your physical space. You want to throw away old clothes and completely delete old contacts from your phone. This is not a random burst of worldly motivation. Your pure spirit is making physical room for the massive deposit that is arriving. You are intuitively preparing your earthly temple for a divine occupation. Follow that urge and clear the heavy clutter immediately. Every single thing you lost in the last few years was completely necessary. God had to empty your heavy hands so you could finally hold the new blessings. You cried over people and jobs that were secretly poisoning your beautiful destiny. Now you finally understand why heaven forcefully removed them from your timeline. The universe was protecting your sacred frequency from their hidden dark agendas. The brutal clearing is done. The atmosphere in the spiritual realm is currently completely still. It is that profound quietness that always happens right before a massive storm of blessings. The dark matrix has officially retreated into the shadows. Your guardian angels are surrounding your timeline and building a massive wall of pure fire. You are completely safe to drop your heavy armor right now. You do not need to fight anymore. Take a very deep breath and release the tension in your chest. Let the heavy burden of being the strong one completely fall off your tired shoulders. You have carried the broken pieces of your family for way too long. Your long shift as the spiritual shield is officially over today. Heaven is stepping in to be your ultimate protector. It is finally time for you to be deeply nurtured. The Supreme Judge of the Midnight Court is currently raising the heavy gavel. The long season of weeping in the dark has officially expired. The glorious morning of your ultimate vindication is breaking through the thick clouds. You have survived the most brutal spiritual training camp in the entire universe, and you emerged from the raging fire as pure and unbreakable gold. The final transition is complete. Do not let anything distract your mind in this exact moment. The ultimate decree that will permanently change your reality is about to be spoken. Your enemies are bracing for the massive impact of their own terrible karma, and your spirit is expanding rapidly to receive the overwhelming flood of divine favor. Prepare your beautiful heart right now. The supreme verdict is finally ready to be fully revealed. You are no longer a victim of a cruel and random universe. You are the quiet victor, stepping into a brand new dimension of authority. The Matrix wants you to doubt this beautiful reality, but your soul recognizes the absolute truth in every single word I am saying. You are fully aligned and entirely ready. I will now read the final judgment that heaven has issued for your specific case. The heavy gavel has officially fallen in the quiet halls of the Midnight Court. The Supreme Judge of the universe is speaking your beautiful name. Every dark entity in the spiritual realm is completely silent right now, and the massive decree that heaven just finalized is permanently rewriting the entire history of your bloodline, while your enemies watch in absolute horror. You are stepping into the glorious light of absolute vindication today. I declare right now that the heavy generational curse is entirely broken. The deep trauma that haunted your family for decades stops with you. You are the ultimate cycle breaker that heaven has been desperately waiting for. Every chain of poverty and endless anxiety is completely falling off your tired shoulders, and the heavy mantle of survival mode is permanently destroyed in this exact second because your spirit has finally awakened to its true power. Look closely at the people who intentionally tried to destroy your peace. The Midnight Court has issued a strict order of divine justice against them. Those who sat at hidden tables and spoke poorly of your name are falling, and the universe is forcing them to witness God prepare a massive feast for you right in front of their deeply jealous eyes. Their dark plots have officially collapsed. You do not have to lift a single finger to defend your honor. Heaven is stepping in as your ultimate defense attorney right now. The extreme confusion they tried to cast onto your beautiful life is aggressively returning to their own toxic camp. They are turning on each other in absolute terror because the spiritual arrows they shot at you simply bounced off your shield and struck their own hearts. Watch them panic today. The elite system is completely terrified because the Matrix cannot control you anymore. They wanted you physically exhausted and financially desperate so you would settle for crumbs. But a massive and unstoppable shift has just fractured their artificial system forever. The divine frequency of absolute abundance is completely overriding the long delay in your life, and heaven is directly bypassing the gatekeepers who tried to hold you back. You are winning. God is aggressively unlocking a mega deposit of wealth and extreme clarity. The dark circles of power desperately tried to keep this specific blessing hidden from you, but the heavenly decree just handed the sacred keys directly into your tired hands. You are no longer struggling at the forgotten bottom of their broken society while the elite steal your rightful inheritance. You are holding the keys to the kingdom. I decree that the terrible season of you being a footstool is permanently over. You will never again shrink your bright light to make fragile people feel comfortable. Your spirit has been doing the heavy lifting for everyone else for years. You absorbed their dark chaos just so they could have temporary peace in their lives. But your long shift as the spiritual shield is entirely done, and it is finally time for you to sit back and receive the massive compensation you deserve. It is finally time for you to be deeply protected and massively rewarded. The spiritual scars you carry are turning into badges of supreme authority. Heaven is placing a heavy crown of untouchable favor upon your head today. And absolutely no demon in hell or person on earth has the power to remove this divine crown from your sacred vessel. You are officially stepping into your royal inheritance right now. You did not survive the raging fire simply because you are extremely tough. You survived the brutal flames because you are a chosen masterpiece of the Creator. Your extreme kindness was never a sign of foolish weakness. It was a rigorous divine test that you did not even know you were taking, but heaven was carefully watching your every single move in the dark, and you passed the impossible test. I command the dark spirits of rejection to leave your physical space immediately. You are officially released from the heavy burden of healing broken people. Let their karma handle their toxic choices from this profound moment forward. You must completely detach your pure energy from their sinking ship, because your new frequency cannot support the massive weight of their endless worldly drama. You belong to the high frequency of heaven. Take a very deep breath and pull this divine manifestation into your lungs. Feel the warm golden light of absolute justice filling up your empty chest. The massive doors that slammed shut in your face are being replaced by giant gates. And these beautiful new gates are swinging wide open to reveal a life of completely effortless abundance that will entirely wipe out your past struggles. Your long season of struggling is dead. Your beautiful silence has become your absolute greatest weapon against the Matrix. Let them completely misunderstand you and assume whatever they want about your quiet distance. You no longer need to explain your complex soul to toxic people who are fully committed to misunderstanding your bright light. Your presence alone now commands massive respect in every single room you enter. Calm is true authority. The Midnight Court is officially closing your case with a massive stamp of victory. The Supreme Judge has completely cleared your name and multiplied your stolen harvest. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been fully paid for in divine gold. You are fully anointed and entirely protected by the highest power in the universe, and you will never walk alone in the freezing shadows ever again. You are completely and finally free. The massive storm has officially passed. The raging fires that surrounded your life have completely burned out. You can slowly exhale now. Your spirit has successfully crossed the violent threshold into a beautiful new reality, and the intense emotional high you felt a moment ago is settling into a profound and heavy peace. You are entirely safe today, but you must be incredibly careful in this exact moment. Heaven has handed you a very delicate and massive blessing. When God hands a chosen one a completely new level of authority, the very first test they must pass is always careful stewardship. You must know exactly how to handle the profound shift that just occurred. The enemy cannot stop your blessing, but they can try to steal your peace. The absolute most important rule for your new season is strict silence. You will feel a sudden and massive urge to tell people about your breakthrough. You will desperately want to call the toxic people who doubted you and prove them entirely wrong. Do not say a single word to them. You must keep this divine manifestation completely hidden in the dark while it fully matures inside your quiet life. Your beautiful silence is the spiritual womb where your miracle grows. When you carelessly speak about your unfinished blessings to broken people, you invite their toxic jealousy into your pure space. Their dark matrix energy can easily disrupt the delicate frequency of your new wealth before it arrives. Protect your sacred harvest by keeping your mouth completely shut. Let the massive results speak for you. Let them wonder how you suddenly became so incredibly peaceful. Let them stay entirely confused by your sudden and massive elevation. You owe absolutely no explanations to the people who were perfectly comfortable watching you struggle alone in the freezing dark. Your pure energy is far too expensive to spend on their cheap worldly drama today. Remain a beautiful and untouchable mystery to them forever. You have walked through the darkest spiritual valleys completely alone. You carried the heavy weight of other broken people, while no one bothered to check on your tired heart. But heaven carefully recorded every single lonely step you took in those freezing shadows, and you are finally stepping into the warm light of your ultimate reward. The painful preparation phase is completely over now. If this specific message brought deep peace to your tired soul today, consider sowing a gentle seed in the pinned comment below. Your quiet support allows us to keep this spiritual lighthouse burning brightly for the next chosen one who arrives. Another wounded warrior is sitting in the dark right now, thinking they are completely crazy. Your pure gratitude helps us reach their broken and tired heart. Subscribe to this quiet sanctuary and firmly turn on the notification bell. You must lock your frequency into this safe space so the dark matrix cannot intercept your future divine messages. Leaving a gentle like on this video is not a casual gesture for a computer algorithm. It is a physical declaration to the universe that you are in absolute spiritual alignment with this heavenly decree. I place a massive seal of divine protection over your physical body and your tired mind right now. I command the holy fire of the universe to completely surround your quiet home and your new finances. No wicked weapon formed against your beautiful spirit will ever prosper in this lifetime, because the supreme judge of the universe has already ruled in your favor. The midnight court has permanently closed your massive case. Rest your tired head tonight with profound and unshakable confidence. The heavy spiritual warfare that exhausted your fragile body is entirely finished. Tomorrow morning you will wake up feeling lighter than you have felt in several decades, because the heavy chains of generational trauma have been completely removed from your tired shoulders. Heaven is actively fighting for your bright future while you sleep in perfect peace. You are so deeply loved. Remember that you are a highly guarded masterpiece of the divine creator. Every single step you take from this moment forward is perfectly orchestrated by heaven. You do not have to forcefully push closed doors to open or beg for basic human decency. The right pure opportunities and the right loving souls are already magnetically drawn to your new brilliant frequency, and they will arrive at the exact right moment. Let them come to you. Type the number 777 in the comments below right now. We do not do this for visibility or shallow worldly validation. We do it as a powerful spiritual seal of agreement to permanently lock this divine truth into your earthly reality. Your simple physical action completely closes the massive gap between the unseen heavenly realm and your daily life. The universe honors your quiet obedience today. The magnificent creator of the entire universe is smiling at your beautiful endurance. You have finally graduated from the most difficult spiritual academy in existence. Walk gently and proudly into your brand new season of effortless abundance and quiet authority. I will see you in the very next divine appointment, when heaven has another specific and urgent message for your beautiful soul. Stay completely blessed.